Hey, today we are looking at unhalted unit frames. So this is like a skin or a styling for unit frames, and compared to the standard Blizzard unit frames, it does not give you a massive advantage, but it still helps in like clarity and like seeing the visuals better in like stressful situations, stuff like that. So I highly advise you use some kind of skin for your unit frames, but it is definitely not needed. So this add-on mainly styles like player frame, target of target is this one below, and then pet we don't have, but this would be below my my character frame. Then we have focus, this is this one, and the target of my focus. And then the boss frame, if I click on it, you can see it, it's over here. So these are basically, if I have one boss, it's like the first one over here, and then it can go up to 5 bosses. It shows their cast bars, what their marker is, and what kind of debuffs and buffs they have, stuff like that. And then tags is basically a library of like shortcuts that you can use. I will explain that in a second. So yeah, in general, this add-on is used to like style your unit frames. That's obviously what the name says as well. If you make a profile or you import the profile of someone else, then there is a possibility that it does not fit your screen, and you can like change this UI scale over here. I would highly advise you, if you use this add-on, just make your own profile. It's not too many options, and it might take like maybe half an hour to adjust the settings to your liking, and then you have a unit frame that is adapted to your needs specifically. But yeah, in general, you can set up the UI scale over here. This is like for colors. For example, if I get a magic debuff, my player frame will have a slight gradient in the bluish tone, and then there will be a magic debuff, the spell symbol in the corner, so that I know that I have a magic debuff and I can use it defensive. But yeah, you can change the colors over here. So global, you can have the color mode. This is what I'm using currently, and then you can have dark mode looking like this. Again, there's no white bar. So now you can see it. There's no white bar usually. This comes from like changing from changing the mode. Then there will be this white bar, which is like kind of a bug in the settings. The white bar usually only appears if you mouse over stuff. Um, yeah, all right. The next thing you can do is you can actually change how the bars are looking design-wise. Personally, I usually like Better Blizzard or the minimalist version, and I think what looks good as well is um, where is it? The smooth, I think. Yeah, smooth looks good as well. There are a few which are clean, is like very nice as well. Yeah, so kind of something that fits your visual style. A friend of mine actually chose, I think it was this one, which I find personally kind of wild. I mean, it looks kind of cool, but for me personally, it's more like visually distracting to have a life bar, a health bar like this, and I rather have it like the clean look, of course. But yeah, in general, you can like select whatever you like. You can change the opacity. You can change different colors. You can set a range fading indicator. This means when you have a target and the target runs out of range, it will fade a little bit. Um, that is some options that you can use. So all of the settings for player target, all of the settings are very similar. So we will go through one of them, and if I notice something specifically, then I will mention that on the other settings you have to take care of that. But in general, all of the settings are the same. So we are looking at the player frame right now. You can click on the frame. You can obviously make it wider or higher. You can change the position like this. You can inverse the growth direction. This means that currently, if I'm losing health, I'm losing it from this direction. You can inverse that. You can anchor it to specific things. You can change the gradient of the display highlighting, stuff like that. Healing protection is like mainly for absorbs and like heal absorbs if you have like this ability. But this is mainly for healers. And honestly, as a healer myself, this is usually done in your group frames and not in your unit frames. So you are not looking at the heal absorb in your own health bar, and rather you see yourself have a heal absorb in your group frame. At least that's how I do it. So yeah, personally, I don't use this too much, but it's still nice to like see it at a glance. So I have it activated. but I mainly trust in my group frames. Auras, in WoW, auras means basically buffs and debuffs. So you can track your buffs and debuffs. As you can see, I'm currently having 4 buffs, so these are the same 4 buffs, like in the top of my screen. And I don't have debuffs right now, but this is like placeholders so that you can see how it would look. And you can change like which kind of buffs you want to see. You can filter for important buffs, for example. You can like disable debuffs if you don't like this. You can change the position, how big they are, and stuff like that over here. And then you can go to the next step, which is like a power bar. I usually have this disabled on most of my characters. Only my druid, I think, has a power bar enabled. The reason for it being that if I shift into cat, usually your cooldown manager in the middle will show you power bar, so you don't need it below your character frame. But as a druid, sometimes if you shift, you're in cat, and then it will show energy here, and then this power bar will obviously show mana. So this is a nice way to track your mana if you are shifting in cat and stuff like that. But there's obviously the option to like have multiple bars in the middle and track your mana while you're in cat and stuff like that. It's just a way that I do it. But usually I have power bar disabled, and the same goes for the secondary power bar. I'm not even sure if the Devourer Demon Hunter has a secondary power bar, but this would be like if you play Holy Paladin, then you have like first power bar is mana, second power bar is probably Holy Power, and then you can like show this on your character screen as well. The cast bar is usually something I disable because if I cast something right now, oh, it shows the Blizzard bar for some reason, not sure why. I usually have this disabled, and below that you see that my quartz is showing, and this is the cast bar that I'm using. So I usually have the cast bar on the frame disabled, but you can obviously set this up if you like it. And then portrait, this is like this small picture of myself. Obviously have this disabled. There's no useful information seeing this, so I have it disabled. It just takes up space. And then indicators is stuff like you see these Zs over here means that I'm in a rested area. And then if I would be the group leader, there would be a crown over here. Or if I would be in combat, I think there would be swords over here. And this is like the indicator that something is happening. And then you can have that and see that at a glance. And then tags, if you go to tag 2, for example, you see that this is my current HP and abbreviated, which means like it's not the full number and it's like abbreviated with a K. I like this setup specifically because I don't need to know the percentage of my life. Usually this does not give me any useful information, but it is very helpful to know how much total life you have. Because maybe you know, okay, this boss ability is doing 400k damage, so if I'm full life, I will have 29k, so I live this. And yeah, this can be a quite useful information, and to see it at a glance, how much HP exactly you have, and if you need to use like a health pot or a defensive on a boss ability, is sometimes the difference maker. So knowing your total HP can be helpful. Other than that, I usually have no information in my character frame, and you can like change these tags by looking at the tags, and then you can copy it from here. So this is basically the library of tags you can use, and then you copy it to whatever you need. And the small number below, this is like the tag for the power color. So this is like the power. I don't know what the Demon Hunter power is called, like Void Energy or something. So yeah, I could see that if I oh sure, can I? Yeah, I can create some with that. So you can see that I get like the same number as in my cooldown manager in the middle. It will show below my my character frame like this. But this is mainly for like healers. I still have it enabled on these characters, but it's not like quite that useful. So if I click on myself, you can see that I have myself on the target right now. I have a target of target, which is obviously myself as well. And then I have like this focus target setting. Focus target is quite important for M+. So setting this up correctly, and especially on the focus target, we actually want that cast bar, and probably it should have been a bit bigger. But small spoiler for if maybe a future episode. I have an add-on called Advanced Focus Cast Bar, and we can look at it right here. So this is my Advanced Focus Cast Bar. So whenever I have a target in focus like myself right now, and I cast something, so it's it's not showing sadly. But yeah, if my focus target casts something, it will show in a very big bar over here. And then I have different settings. So for example, this bar will be green whenever I can interrupt the cast. So this is the reason that I actually don't. By the way, the command to get into unhalted unit frames is UUF, and then you can type that into chat and open the settings. So basically, this is the reason why my focus cast bar is so small, because I have an extra add-on to solve that issue for me. Other than that, there's not too much to the add-on. Obviously, you can click yourself through these settings and find stuff you want to change. I will now go back to my global profile. I think it should be new midnight. Is this the correct version? I think so, yeah. I think this is the correct version. If you want to see kind of my settings, then we can quickly look at them over here. So I have minimalist bars. I have the setup like previously shown with my focus target above my player frame, target of target below my target, and usually my pet frame would be over here somewhere. But yeah, in general, this add-on has not too many options, but it's like a small, styler, helpful add-on to solve some of the visual clarity issues that I have with the standard Blizzard UI. And just to make sure that you know what I'm talking about, I will actually disable Unhalted for a second and will show you the standard UI so that you can see the difference in the setup. Take a look over here. So I disabled it now, and it should now show here. So as you can see, this is my focus target, and this is like very distracting for myself. Obviously, I could move it with edit mode to be over here. But yeah, there's too much information in this focus target. There's no cast bar on this focus target. It seems like maybe it would show if I would do a real cast, but this should count as a real cast, and there's no cast bar, so I'm not sure if it would even show that. Then there's too much information. I don't need to know the percentage. I don't need to know like huge bars for my power, which take up a lot of space. I don't need to know my name. I know my name obviously, and I can see it in the character screen if I want to know it. I don't need to know the level. So there's a lot of information that the standard UI gives you that you actually don't need in high end game situations like M+, for example. So for me personally, actually there's no target of target, or is there? Target of target is enabled, but it isn't showing myself as a target. Not sure what happened there. This is an issue as well. So yeah, there's just a few things that I prefer in a different way compared to the standard Blizzard UI, and I kind of wish they would like get one of these add-on developers, make them improve the standard UI in a way that it is more useful and more usable. Obviously, this works for more casual content, and I've seen like actual pro players use the standard UI. I think the main tank of Liquid is like using these kind of frames for himself. I personally think this is too much clutter, and there will be situations where this clutter actually kills him because he does not need to see his profile picture. He does not need to see his power bar because he has it in the middle of the screen. Stuff like that, I think, is a possibility in a small possibility, but it is a possibility that it will actually kill you and will ruin a run because there's too much information, too much clutter, and you might get distracted or stuff like that. So I prefer a more cleaner look, and I think this is exactly what Unhalted gives me. I used to use a different kind of unit frame. I used to use Shadow Unit Frame, but Shadow Unit Frames is no longer supported in Midnight, so yeah, we cannot use it. But Unhalted Unit Frames is doing a pretty good job at it. Alright, so this will be it for the video. I think it is a little bit longer than what originally planned. But yeah, even a small add-on like Unhalted Unit Frames, it takes a bit of time to explain stuff and show things. I hope I gave you a small introduction, and if you liked it, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. See you on the next one. Bye bye.